I want to be like Christ in my walk, in my life. And I hope you do too. And what I found in my decades of being in ministry is if I have something simple in my mind, a concept that I can grasp simply, that helps me to walk like Christ. And I've found one that I think has made a difference in my life. And that is the standard, it's all around the world so many times, us versus them. Us versus them. And the Bible, there's that kind of ubiquitous they. Well, they say, well, they did. Well, the Bible kind of talks about that too. And Christ is one of the us. And they are the people of the world. And I've focused in my mind that I want to be like Christ. I want to be like us. I don't want to be so pressured or caught up in the world or pulled in by what the world's doing that I become like them, like the world. I want to be like us, where Christ is. So let's talk about that. When the Bible talks about what's going around in the world or what's coming up in the world, it's really helpful that the Bible and Jesus Christ through prophecy told us what was coming. You've been surprised by things. I've been surprised by things. We all know what it is to be surprised. When it comes to maintaining a Christ-like walk, it helps if we're not surprised. So let's take a look at what Christ said was going to happen in the world. In Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, he said, "And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many will grow cold." He tells us that in the world around us, there's going to be an increase of lawlessness, and the love of many is going to grow cold, which means there's going to be less and less love, which is going to mean that there's going to be more and more hatred, there's going to be more and more indifference, there's going to be more and more selfishness. And God created us, God created people to want to be part of a group, want to be part of a family. And that's why so many people feel pressured to be part of a group, or if they're with a certain group, they feel pressured to act like those people. Why is that? Because God created us to fit in, and He wants us to fit in. And so what can happen, sadly, the opposite side of that sword, is that if everybody around you is being cold, heartless, selfish, that we can lose our motivation to be like Christ. And it's helped me to say, wait, I want to be one of us. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like those people that just aren't like Christ, that are making no effort to be like Christ, that are giving in to their baser emotions of anger, bitterness, hurt, those kind of things. Hurt meaning be hurtful. So we know what's going to happen with them. They're going to become more lawless and more loveless. What does the Bible tell us to do? Romans 12:10, and I'll just read the last half of the verse. As to honor, leading and outdoing one another. And this is talking about an honorable lifestyle. That them are getting more lawless, more cold-hearted, more selfish. We're going to be in that environment, but we've got to set our minds to where we're Romans 12:10 people. When it comes to our honorable lifestyle, we are going to lead and outdo others. We're going to want to be in the front of the pack. And if you look at how is some of this lovelessness going to manifest itself? Again, Christ is telling us 2,000 years ago, He's telling us ahead of time what's going to happen so that when it does happen, then we're forewarned, we're forearmed, and it's easier for us to mentally take it in because we could see it coming from a distance. So here in Luke chapter 21, Christ talking about what's going to happen. Verse 16, He says, "But you will even be handed over by your parents and brothers and relatives and friends, and some of you they will cause to be put to death." You see the they in there? The they. And it could be your parents, your siblings, your friends, and they hand you over. And why would they do that? Oh, we're fulfilling our social responsibility or whatever it is. But in any case, your conservative Christian stand has made you a target for the increasing lawlessness and demonic behavior in the world. And so people hand you over. And he didn't just say it in Luke. In Mark chapter 13, verse 12 and 13, he says it this way, and brother will deliver up brother to death, and the father his child, and children will rise up against parents and cause them to be put to death, and you will be hated by everyone because of my name. And if we see that coming, it's easier to prepare for it. Our goal has to be like Christ. That has to be our goal. And it has been helpful to me to think, because somebody will do something that's very hurtful, and you have that natural reaction to be angry, to be upset, to want them to in some way be punished or whatever it is, and I'm not going there. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be lawless. I don't want to be loveless. I don't want to be hurtful. I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to be like one of us. Vengeance is mine and I will repay, says the Lord, Romans 12. Absolutely. We've got to get our vision, our strength, our motivation for God. We have a good example in Isaiah, because Isaiah lived, he lived in a horrible time, frankly. I mean, he really did. He lived as the Assyrian Empire was gaining ascendancy, a very cruel, wicked empire. And during Isaiah's lifetime, because of the sins of the people of Israel, the Assyrians came down, burned down their cities, took their people captive, killed a bunch of people, and just carried the 10 northern tribes of Israel off into oblivion. And Isaiah was living in the midst of that sinful time period when the people of Israel, and frankly the people of Judah too, weren't listening to the things of God. So how did Isaiah not become one of the them? How did he stay one of God's people? How did he stay in us? And the answer is in Isaiah chapter 50, verse 7. He says, for the Lord Yahweh will help me. Therefore I have not been confounded. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I will not be put to shame. So many great truths in this one simple verse. First of all, you've got to know Yahweh will help you. God will help you. Okay, yes, things are tough around us. Yes, things are different around us. Things seem to be going downhill. But you know what? Yahweh is our help, and we won't be confounded. I'm not sitting there going, well, what's going on? What should I do? I'm not going to be confounded because Jesus Christ told me what was coming ahead of time. Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 3 tells me what's coming ahead of time. So I'm not surprised by the ungodliness, the coldheartedness, the lawlessness. I'm not surprised by that. I'm not confounded. I'm not confused about it. I see it coming. I see the devil's influence in the world. And then what do? I do what Isaiah said. I set my face like a flint. I am going to be one of the us. I am going to behave like Christ. I am going to be loving and kind, and I'm not going to be like them just because they're like them. I'm going to be like one of the us, absolutely. Now, in doing this, in making this happen, and being one of the us, one of the things, we want to be able to do things. This isn't just a mental attitude. It shows up in the things we do. It shows up in the way we live. And this then becomes really important. And there are times when something will come up in your life and you're going to have an opportunity to do something really big that's really helpful and really Christ-like. But, as much as we'd love for those things to happen on a daily basis, generally speaking, those real big opportunities to be like Christ, the real big ones, where we do something just amazing for somebody, they don't happen every day. But what we can do is we can be like Christ every day. If we just think of, okay, what can we do on a daily basis to be like Christ? Well, we can make other people feel important. How do you do that? How do you make other people feel valued? How do you make other people feel like they're worth something to you and to God? Well, one thing is take time to welcome them. What do I mean by that? People come to my house all the time, and sometimes I'm busy, and sometimes I'm in the middle of work or something like that, and there's a temptation there to just go, hi, and get back to doing what you're doing. But no, if we think we're trying to make people feel valued. So we stop, we take time to welcome people, we say hello, we ask them a couple questions, we explain what's going on. We just do what it takes to make people feel valued. We do things like say please and thank you, not just give me that, or pass that. We say please, we say thank you, it helps value people. We return phone calls. Look, I know we're all busy. I know it can be difficult to return phone calls or return a quick email, but if you don't have time, you have time to send a little text or an emoji or something that just says, can't talk right now, sorry, or something like that, that lets somebody know that you are on the other end of the line, that you care about them, but you're sorry about your busy life, you just can't get to them now. I was thinking about this the other day. Because so many people don't return phone calls in today's world. And I was thinking, if Jesus Christ owned a cell phone, would he return phone calls? And I concluded that he would. That Jesus Christ loved people enough. I mean, if he loves me enough to die for me, I think he loves me enough to return a phone call. And I was thinking, okay, then if I'm going to be like Christ, and if Christ would return a phone call, then I can return a phone call. And I just, just pick up the phone and say, wow, hey, I'm really glad you called. I can't talk right now. When can we talk again? Something like that. Little things like, sometimes you'll see somebody trying to merge into traffic from a side street and just slowing down and letting them in. Letting them know, wow, somebody cares about them more than me getting to where I want to go 0.3 of a second faster than I would get there if I let somebody merge in. That we take care of the other person, we show them somebody out there cares, somebody out there loves. We're part of the us, we're not part of the cold-hearted them. Use your turn indicator. Where you're going, you're not going on a secret mission. And I'll tell you what, I pulled up into many an intersection where I wanted to turn left, and the car across from me isn't letting me know. Are they turning right? Are they turning left? Are they coming straight across? I don't know. So you got to sit there, and you got to wonder, and you're on your toes trying to figure. You don't want to be in a car wreck. Turn on your turn indicator, for Pete's sake. It's a little stick on your steering wheel. It's not a hard thing to do, and it lets other people know you care enough about them that you're thinking about them, not about you. You already know where you're going to go. You're letting them know where they're going to go. Be on time. If you tell somebody you're going to be someplace at a certain time, be there at a certain time. It's a small thing, but you should know what it means to you. Somebody says they're going to show up at noon, you can have lunch together, and they're not there at noon, and they're not there at 12:15, and they're not there at 12:30. There's no phone call, there's no text. We've got better things to do than that. We want to treat people better than that. If you're not going to be on time, let people know. My goodness. If you go to like somebody's house or something, offer to help clean up, offer to help set up. See if you can be a help, not just, take a seat on the living room couch and let them do all the work around you. We want to be like Christ. Romans chapter 12 says that's a living sacrifice. And it's not always easy. Like I say, the world around us is getting colder. And so many times we have to take the lead. Okay, I'm making a commitment that I'm going to be a Romans 12:10 person. And when it comes to my honorable living, I'm going to lead and I'm going to outdo one another. See, that's what that's saying, because so many times it can be like, we're the one to make the phone call. We're the one to make the phone call. We're the one to make the phone call. And then what happens? We've got to be aware of this thought, and this thought is, I'm tired of always being the one to. I'm tired of always being the one that has to return a phone call. I'm tired of being the one that always has to do the dishes. I'm tired of being the one that always has to take the garbage out. I'm tired of being, draw our strength. What did Isaiah do in Isaiah chapter 7? He said he got his strength from Yahweh. What exactly did he say? He says, for the Lord Yahweh will help me. The Lord Yahweh will help us. Don't fall prey to that internal thought, hey, why do I always have to be the one to? Because sometimes we do. Because the world is getting harder, harsher, more lawlessness, more cold-hearted. So sometimes we do have to always be the one to. And we just thank God you gave me the vision to help out. Thank you for giving me the strength that I'm able to help out. Don't fall prey to this, well, I'm tired of being the one to always do. Don't fall prey to that kind of thinking. And we do have an internal battle. You know, part of the problem with this whole thing about trying to be like Christ is we have an internal battle because we have a sin nature. And again, the Bible tells us ahead of time, Galatians 5:17, it says, "For the flesh," that's my sin nature, that's my flesh body, "sets its desire against the spirit," my spirit nature. You know, and my spirit nature wants to be like Christ, but my flesh nature wants to be selfish. So the Bible warns us. It says, look, you've got a sin nature, you've got a spirit nature. They're going to be in a war. Vote for your spirit nature. Follow your spirit nature, not your sinful desires. It says, "For the flesh sets its desire against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. These are opposed to each other, with the result that you're not doing what you want." And what I want to be like Christ all the time. And sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. And I'm sure the same is for you. But it helps me in my mind to keep it real simple. There's only two sides. You can either be like us, like Christ, or you can be like them, the lawless, cold-hearted world. I've made up my mind to be like us. I hope you do too. Hey, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button below to follow us. And also, hit the notification bell so that you're notified when new videos are posted. And please check out our website for additional resources at spiritandtruthonline.org. And if you were blessed by this video, please consider donating to our work. Just click the donate button. And may God bless you as you grow in your walk with the Lord.